Hey everybody, it's Glenn. I am presenting in this video 4 of my favourite characters from the Age of Apocalypse. If you are not familiar with the Age of Apocalypse, do check it out. It's a alternate reality which reimagines the X-Men universe. It's a reality where Professor X died before he formed the X-Men and the consequences of that. In the Age of Apocalypse storyline, a lot of the X-Men characters that we're familiar with are completely flipped on their head, and the Age of Apocalypse also takes some very minor characters from regular Marvel continuity, and in the Age of Apocalypse makes them a much more major character. One of those such characters is Blink. Blink is a mutant with the power to teleport. In regular Marvel continuity, she only actually survived 4 issues before she was killed off. In the Age of Apocalypse, she became one of the prominent X-Men, and one of the more popular characters in the storyline, popular enough in fact that she was spun off to be the foundation of the Exiles ongoing title, and that lasted about 100 issues. My Blink custom action figure uses a Marvel Legends Psylocke as base figure, a Marvel Legends Shanna, the SDCC Savage Land box set exclusive head, and her hair and skirt are from a Lord of the Rings figure, although the skirt is much modified here. All other editions were sculpted with epoxy clay. And now we have MORPH. MORPH, like Blink, is another character who played a very minor role in regular continuity, appearing for only a few issues and dying way back in the 70s. In the Age of Apocalypse, MORPH, like Blink, was a prominent X-Men and was very much the comic relief of the X-Men. And that comedy came very much from his mutant ability to shapeshift. My MORPH custom figure here is a Moon Knight base figure, including the head with a Magneto cape. All other editions were sculpted with epoxy clay. And now moving on to my favourite, Sabretooth and Wildchild. Like I said, Age of Apocalypse was quite radical in the way it reimagined familiar characters, most notably Sabretooth, who in the Age of Apocalypse was one of the cornerstones of the X-Men and a very moral character. For my custom AOA Sabretooth, I used a Marvel Legends Juggernaut as a base figure. I know most people are probably familiar with the AOA Sabretooth figure from the Giant Man series more than they are with how AOA Sabretooth was actually depicted in the comic books. The AOA Sabretooth figure, while the Giant Man series is probably one of the better Marvel Legends series, that figure itself I think lets down that series. It's probably the weakest figure and isn't particularly true to how Sabretooth was represented in the comic books. But if you're familiar with that figure and not the comic books, you're probably looking at my custom and thinking, wow, he's big. This is how Joe Mad depicted Sabretooth in the Age of Apocalypse. Joe Mad, if you're familiar with his style of illustration, it's much more stylized, making Sabretooth a bit more beefy. With the custom figure's head, I was able to transplant the lower half of the Marvel Select Sabretooth head onto the upper half of the Marvel Legends Juggernaut head. His hands came from a Venom the Madness old Toy Biz figure, and I should thank Warwick, fellow customizer, for the ponytail which came from Pitt. And now Wildchild, who in Age of Apocalypse was partnered with Sabretooth. Wildchild in this storyline was very feral. He actually has a very low intelligence, probably about that of a dog, which was why Sabretooth often kept him leashed to keep him under control. My Wildchild custom figure uses a Marvel Legends Pyro as base figure with Marvel Legends Werewolf by Night feet and Marvel Legends Dracula hands. The Head is old Toy Biz Spider-Man animated series Morbius Unbound face that I transplanted onto a Marvel Legends head, and his hair is modified from a Marvel Legends Psylocke. His leash I got from the craft store. It's just a chain that you would use in kind of jewelry making, crafting. Anyway, that's some insight behind my custom action figures for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for sticking to the end. All these figures are available in auctions on eBay, so please check out the link in the description below. As ever, please comment, rate and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.